Personally, I'm looking to exit when Bitcoin is at like 80, 90K. Well, ideally after an alt season, it should happen. But yeah, around there, I want to sell my investments, go into stables, and I'll thoroughly play the market a bit more. There might be a big dead cat bounce when the top is really in. And so, yeah, whatever. Just to say, personally, I'm already thinking a lot about exiting. It's just not time yet, but it's coming.
Just a quick reminder, everything said in this podcast is for educational purposes only. We may or may not have positions in the coins we are going to talk about. So make sure to always make your own research. And with that being said, let's get back to the episode. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Robin and Erebos sits next to me. I don't know in which direction you will sit when you watch the video. And today we are going to talk about a bunch of topics because the last episode we did is 2 months, or we did that 2 months ago. So a lot of stuff has happened during that time. The structure today will be, first of all, we're going to share some plays we did in the past, just to show you guys that we know what we are talking about. And then we will talk about the state of the market, stuff that is currently hot and maybe stuff that will be hot in the future. And lastly, we will share some important learnings that everyone should watch, because if you are new to crypto, or if you're already intermediate in crypto, this is what will bring or what will move you forward and help you accelerate on your crypto path on journey. So without further ado, Erebos, do you want to share some stuff about the past couple of weeks? I hope everything is good on your side.
It's been a long time. It's been crazy, a bit painful for everybody, of course, but we're alive at least. So I mean, let's get into it. So yeah, I guess I can talk about what I've been up to. In the end, since the market was chopping, I was really defensive, not doing much, but I had the great idea of selling a bit of my bags before the nuke. So I had some stables to get involved in like dips. Like I played with. WIF has been my focus because it's super strong and memes are getting more and more popular. Who knows? I think until the end of the cycle. So yeah, I took some trades on WIF, like 3 trades actually. And I'm very happy because I went super big at like 240 on that last, like when Bitcoin was at 70, my bad, I was at 57, 58. So I'm up, well, $1 million if you want to know. So that's a good trade. I'm going to probably flex that on Twitter at some point, but so far it's not done yet. But yeah, it's always tricky because I don't think that's the top, but there is always a small chance that, you know, that was a top that like 70K, so people get fearful. Even I was like, oh my god. So yeah, it's tricky, but of course it's just going to consolidate and we can expect higher prices during the year. What else? But yeah, it's pretty much it. Listings have been complicated recently. People are hating on high FDV coins, and memes are the new gold rush.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, pretty simple. I just love WIF and Prime at the moment. It's very simple. It's been the case for some time now, and I don't see anything else interesting. Although some AI projects launching, so that's also something, I guess, interesting. Especially with ChatGPT, OpenAI, I mean, they can still push us.
Yeah,
Google, I see a bunch of news around AI all the time. Anyway, so that's a long answer. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And what have you done?
So for me, actually, like, first of all, to summarize, like you did the 1 million play, or you're currently in your 1 million play and with. That's nice, man. Nice play.
Yeah.
So I think you also told me when you entered. I can't imagine. No, I also remembered when the market dumped, like you were struggling a bit. Yeah, I mean, I remember like one convo we had.
I mean, I went in and out a few times, so it was actually, I'm very satisfied about my execution. I was careful, patient, and in the end, 57 looked like the bottom, so I went hard. And also, WIF wasn't dumping that much, so it helped a lot. Because you see, it's holding. I'm like, even if BTC goes down, it's going to stay there, and it did. So I actually DCA'd a bit I bought like 3 different times, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Control.
it's been nice. It's been nice, honestly. A lot of people got fucked because, well, if you're all in memes, man, you have to be careful. When the market turns around, you can really get slapped.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that side. Like, for me, it's also interesting. Like, I invested in DMT, like, I think at $10 or so, in December, I think. And what's funny is that today I just saw a video about like the evolution of meme coins and the bigger importance of meme coins and how you can basically, or what maybe happens in the future, that basically projects with a real idea will first create a meme coin and then later on build a business around it. And because of the strong community and so on. And this is basically what happened to DMT, because it was more or less like a meme coin, like the project had a game behind it. And like it was funny. They also had like the Milady community and stuff like this, like inside of the original community. So I looked at it. I saw that the support was also quite nice. So I went into it, I think in December, and I did an exit like also before the big dump. I think I'm not 100% sure. It was somewhere around $110 to $90. So it went from 10 million market cap to a 50 million market cap. So or even higher. Yeah. So like the price, like I think the price was $110 or so at one point. I sold it around $100. And another play which I did was Nuclei. Like I also have partner tokens, but because I had like a high conviction in it, I went in it directly after the launch because I wanted to have more NI token basically. And I did an exit at around 3 cents, 3.5 cents or something like that. So also quite a nice play. These were basically my biggest ones. And then of course there's the shitcoin world, like also going insane right now. So there are also some plays, but I think these are too degen that I will share them here. So yeah, for me it was actually a good time. Like
honestly, it was slow, but it gives you a bit of time to think about your positioning, maybe do some research, touch grass, do things, relax a bit before things go really crazy, because we can expect that the next leg is the parabolic one, and then that's the top. At least in my opinion. So
I'm with you.
Also, I just wanted to rebound quickly on something you said, but I mean, it's obvious, but there is a lot of edge in knowing a lot about a project. Like when you've been following a project for a long time, you've been watching the price action, you know about the catalysts, you understand very well the situation and what can happen. I've been into Prime for like 4 or 5 months. I understand it very well, and that's beautiful. You know exactly how it's going to move, more or less, and it gives you a real advantage compared to someone who just spent 10 minutes researching it.
Yeah, you take that emotion. Like I always like when I think about plays on base, for example, Toshi and stuff like this. You have this big investment thesis, which basically keeps your emotions in check, because you know like where base will move in the future, and because of that you hold your positions, which are highly correlated to the success of base for a certain amount of time till your thesis basically either gets declined or accepted. And then you basically have like two ways to exit the position. The one is okay, maybe at a loss, and the other is at a
loss.
Big, like at a big profit.
Also there is a famous saying, like they say, you cannot borrow conviction. Like if you ape something because of someone, it starts going down, then you have no idea what to do and you're more likely to panic. So whatever. Those are like really basic stuff, but I mean, it's nice to keep in mind.
Yeah, like one example, like in my private program, like I have one client and I shared a thesis with this client directly in our first call. And what she did, I don't know. Like, I don't want to share too much personal information here. But basically what this person did is to go into this project, and then the market basically dumped, like directly with a huge allocation. And then she or he wrote me, why is this coin dumping? Like, you said it's a good one. I said, yeah, it's a good one, but you need to understand what the thinking is behind it. And like, I think a few days after, like, I did an investment thesis, like a call about my investment thesis and why I think that this special case will play out in the future. And then she said, okay, I'm fine with holding the position, even if it's down a bit right now.
Oh, it's tricky. It's really tricky. But yeah, do your research. It's better.
It's 100%.
Maybe let's talk about the market, like where it's at and what do we think. So sadly, sorry guys, I wish I could share my screen, but the settings are fucked. So you can look at the chart yourself, because basically on the daily, we created a range between, let's say, 61K. You have some weeks, but let's say 61K to like 72, more or less. You have that range. And then we broke below it and reclaimed it, kind of like the deviation meme. And so now we're trading at the time of recording at 63,600. So we are back in the range, and logically we can target 70K. And also we saw a huge shift in sentiment. People were super bearish, calling for 50. I've seen even lower. And in the end, like, we see some grayscale inflows, which is mind-blowing after all the dumping they've been doing. We see like many things, like the market bounced extremely strongly, and logically we should go test the range high. Like, technically that's how it's supposed to go, with the range like that doesn't break. So yeah, personally I see it's going to 70K relatively soon, maybe some more chop during the summer, and then we're supposed to go. There is a chance that we just go, like, it takes a few weeks to break all-time high and we go, but I don't think we have enough strength, like enough juice to really go high. I think we're gonna need to wait for some catalyst, maybe more ETF or like macro improving liquidity, whatever. It's not my thing, but macro has been slowing us down a bit, equities and some other stuff. So that's pretty much the way I see it. And I mean, there is no need to maybe spend too much time on it. But a nice segue is I wanted to update my plan for the year, because in the last episode I said that I was expecting a quick top, like a top this summer, and then I was expecting, for me it was likely to top in the summer, and that was it, like a quick cycle. But with the consolidation now and the signs we have, it's more likely that we top at the end of the year, in my opinion. So if we chop for, let's say, another month or two, then we run for a couple months into year end or into early 2025. But as I said, personally, I'll be cautious because, well, I've made too much money and I don't want to give it back. And also my strategy I prefer. So personally, I would want to, the timing is off because I cannot predict exactly what's going to happen. But personally, I'm looking to exit when Bitcoin is at like 80, 90K. Well, ideally after an alt season, it should happen. But yeah, around there, I want to sell my investments, go into stables, and I'll thoroughly play the market a bit more. There might be a big dead cat bounce when the top is really in. And so, yeah, whatever. Just to say, personally, I'm already thinking a lot about exiting. It's just not time yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, like, actually, I'm also on your side. Like, people who work with me for a long time now, I predicted something around 80K or 85K as the top for this bull market, like in 2023, like last year, somewhere around that.
Sorry to cut you. 80,
maybe it goes higher.
It's a bit bearish because we have the the top, like the all-time high now is 73. So if we just go 10% above that, so I was saying personally like 90, but
Yeah.
starting 80, I'm already paying attention.
Yeah.
And
Like,
there's a good chance also, sorry again, there is a
no
good chance that we touch 90K, we get a pullback, and this is the last dip you can buy safely. And then we extend into like 110, maybe. I mean, I could see it. That's actually my thesis. I had like probably the top is going to be in 6 months, more or less. So we could have like two legs basically, two legs still in Bitcoin. And yeah, that's it.
like bull case 115K, bear case
Like, yeah, just
80K.
one leg and that's it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm on your side on that topic. Like, because like when you think about it, like who will enter crypto like next to the people who already entered? Like of course we have new ETFs coming. The Hong Kong ETF slowly starts to also see some growth. Like people are buying it, and the grayscale ETF, not the grayscale, the grayscale ETF slowly starts to have no Bitcoin anymore, which
Yes.
they can dump on us.
It's crazy. Like they've been dumping on us crazy. I mean, some of them they probably sold grayscale and went into another ETF. But anyways, yeah, it's not going to be good. And on the ETF front, something that's much more interesting is Andrew Kang talked about that and some other guys. It looks like Morgan Stanley is going to offer ETFs to its clients in like a few weeks, end of the month or early June. So they should bring us more flows. We also see BlackRock is talking with like pension funds and big institutions.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to see some buying from large players still.
Yeah.
But then I also wonder who's going to be buying Bitcoin at 100K. Like that's a shit price personally.
Yeah.
After it was 16K like a year ago. Well, it's a year and a half, something like that, whatever. So yeah, the risk reward is getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
it is what it is. So that's pretty much the plan I have. I don't know. We align often on that.
Yeah, like I'm totally on your side. Like what I did over the past couple of days is to increase my position size in high conviction plays. Like what I did, like I don't know if you remember the blank slate method from Santiago.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
Yeah, like I did that a couple of days ago,
But
where
can
basically
you explain it quickly for people?
yes. So basically, what I did is sat down in my kitchen, have a blank piece of paper, and basically create a portfolio from scratch. And I was thinking like before that, I looked into AI, I looked into gaming and stuff like that. So I was considering like these narratives. Then we also have like meme coins and stuff like this, which is a huge narrative right now. So what I basically did is, with all that knowledge I gathered over the past couple of months and how the bull market then basically run out, I basically created a complete new portfolio and ended up with Prime as one of my biggest convictions. Then Ondo is also a nice one that I personally really like because of the RWA sector and BlackRock connections. So there are also like if BlackRock is pumping reward assets, then we will also see some inflows into Ondo. So I see a correlation there. Also, the project itself is interesting. And
the only risk with Ondo is like unlocks and stuff. You have to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's end of the year or like early next year maybe, because it's been hot, really hot.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing. But it's been super strong during the dip.
Yeah.
And I agree with. I still have my Ondo. I'm looking to start that higher. Like it's not the time. It's So I agree. Prime is to me a super great bet.
And you made me bullish.
Oh yeah,
and I'm
I mean,
thankful for that, bro.
You have so many reasons to be bullish. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And also it dumped so much, like so much. Well, it was down like 50% from the top, something like that. So it's not crazy, but it was rough. And now it bounced a fuck ton.
Yeah,
it's gonna go.
100%, and they're also positioned pretty well. Like you can, I think you can buy it on Coinbase, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like I think so. Yeah. So like what I thought of when I like positioned or repositioned myself on high conviction plays was, okay, I want to have positions which are also easily reachable for the new wave of buyers in the future.
Think
And
about
like
retail.
yes, exactly. So my thinking was, okay, most likely these people won't be people who know how to use a decentralized exchange. So I need to get into a place where people have easy access to the coin, and Prime is super easy to buy, Ondo as well. And that's basically it. Toshi is another bet that I have for future listing. So
And
this
also you
is
have the Coinbase wallet, so that's
yes.
really a good one.
Yeah, yeah, and also like it's really easy to
Coinbase
use.
wallet,
Yeah,
website.
yeah, I think it's Coinbase Wallet. Yeah, so it's really easy to use, and I think we will see a lot of inflows into these coins over the span of the next couple of months, and then maybe at some point these people will turn over, like for example, the Coinbase Wallet onto base memes, which because they are also easily to access and then maybe later on Solana memes. But for right now, like I like to position myself where how do I say it very nicely? Where beginner retail is able to position themselves as well. And also projects that are easy to understand, because a lot of projects are just like you look into the fundamentals or on the web page and you don't know what the fuck they are doing. So easy projects in terms of the narrative. So not the technicals can be hard to understand, but the narrative needs to be easy.
Yeah, and also, well, yeah, very true. I agree with everything. And usually, also the cycle gets more and more dumb, so you have to like forget a bit about your big brain thesis.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting and most likely profitable. That's nice.
Our good friend, like we had just had a talk a couple of days ago, and he basically also said like people are getting retarded, and this is why your portfolio also has to.
They've been retarded for some time already, but yes.
Even
honestly,
more
the meme thing is insane.
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about it, obviously. Also, the battle between high FDV, low float VC coins versus memes, and memes are just pure community, pure technical. And it's true, it's interesting, the difference. I'm glad I'm getting more into it, because I used to be a guy like memes are just not serious. I don't have conviction. And now look at me, I have 30% of my portfolio on a meme. So yeah, but you have to be so careful though, because of course you can be very wrong.
I'm totally with you. But if you like, it's also reasonable to be bullish now on memes and not on the last cycle, because people who are in crypto or who are buying in crypto have the thinking has changed. So now you have a real investment thesis around certain meme coins. And in the last bull run, most people were buying like stupid, like projects that seemed serious on the front end, but in the back end, like was nothing special.
Also, it's tricky. Personally, I avoid trying to be 3 steps ahead of the market. I mean, in some sense, because I see some people saying memes are going to top, and now we're going to get back to serious projects, like, I don't know, like layer ones and DeFi and stuff. And it's dangerous to try to anticipate, look at what's now, and you just bet on that continuing. But I do agree that some coins got really, really wrecked. Like I looked at it this morning, like Frax Finance, like FXS, is back at bear market levels, which is crazy on that dump. Some alts got destroyed. So I think people are just going to chase some of them just because they're so low. you know, it goes like at the end of the cycle, everything is going to pump one after the other, and you have some things like that. But you can focus on what's new and what's hot. And then, yeah, if you're a trader, you can look at what's really, really down bad. Maybe have some alerts when they start moving and play that. We had some of these on layer ones this winter with like well, the old ones like Phantom and all that. So it's going to be similar because people are going to look to buy what's not pumped too much yet. But personally, I have no real views. Like I'm going to take it step by step, nights with. Then I'm also big on Prime. So, and yeah, if you find some more interesting stuff, you can play that or just trade technically. What's pumping, what looks interesting in terms of risk reward. But yeah, to me, it's late cycle, so I'm not really looking to be too aggressive or to be too deep into the research. Just sit on your investments and try to capitalize on what's hot at the moment. Yeah.
There's also, I don't know which chess player that said, but basically what he said is the only move that counts is your next one. Like, of course, like all the other moves, you should also think about them, but the next one is the most important one. And if you I also, when I structured my portfolios back in the days, like it was always that I tried to predict where the market will go in 4 to 5 moves. But if you think about how much stuff influences the crypto market and markets in general, like you can't predict really where the market will go in 5 to 10 moves. Maybe some areas are so certain that it's gonna happen, that it's gonna happen, like the base thesis or the Tom thesis. Like this is basically stuff that's written in stone, but out of my perspective.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it makes me think about something. Sorry, I have a hard
shoot it. Yeah, no worries.
I have a hard time understanding when it's my turn today, at least. No, it makes me think about something like that was on my mind lately. That it just takes one good move and you're back in the game. For example, personally, I got quite wrecked last bear. I was pretty badly positioned, missed out on some upside at the beginning of the bull, and since October I've been really good. And now look at it, like even with WIF now, I think it's gonna be a big play. So yeah, just need, even if you've been underperforming or you get a bit wrecked, if you can find one good one, then you're back in the game, and you just need to pile them up a bit. And so yeah, everything can change in a blink, of course. But yeah, like it's just a message of, well, be smart, and even if you are not in the best position, you can always do something. And as you said, for example, yeah, like rethinking about your positioning, maybe you're in the wrong coins, but tomorrow you'll be in the best coins. And yeah, I mean, of course, you need a bit of expertise. You cannot just rotate and do whatever. But yeah, it's just a message of keep going, pay attention, and yes, you should be profitable in the next few months.
I'm also like totally on that. Like the only thing, like what people have to remember, like, okay, at some point the bull market will end, so I have to exit my positions. And right now, just don't try to be super smart. Like, you know what's working, you know what topics are hot or which areas are hot. Stay in them and maybe position yourself in some high risk opportunities and in some low risk opportunities inside of these sectors. But then just wait till the fucking thesis plays out. Like this is also actually the learning I wanted to put into this episode. Like it's time to exit your position. Like you don't exit your position based on prices, out of my opinion, but on your investment, based on your investment thesis. Like just because you made it 2x overnight doesn't mean you have to exit your position instantly if your thesis still is intact. So don't get emotional over short-term profits, and also don't get emotional if your position dumps like 20%. So stick to your thesis as long as you can say, okay, this is something where I really thought about, and like not just like as you said, like I have this thesis because person XYZ said it. I have it because I looked into it. I understand what's gonna happen, or at least you have an idea of what's gonna happen. So stick to these plays and like wait till it plays out and then exit your position. So don't be super active in terms of exit right now after 2x or 3x and say, okay, I just want to make profits. And also in the other way around, like don't cut losses too early. Of course, at some point you should cut losses depending on the level of knowledge you have. Maybe a bit earlier.
Complex question, but yes. Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's simple and complicated at the same time. But
yes,
your only job is to be in the winners and stay in them as long as they stay hot. So, like for example, you had a huge Solana run.
I wanted to say exactly the same.
Then WIF was super hot. Then I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, you can find a few winners. I mean, before that it was TIA Injective, which was actually pretty brutal because it pumped crazy. Everybody was saying, "Oh, TIA to 100," and then just nothing. It's been underperforming, so you have to be careful. But yeah, you can look at, some people do it very well. They don't really care what's hot, what's good for them. They just look at the momentum, what are the winners, and then since they're trading, they can look at when to enter, make a trade, and really kill it. Especially if you follow the trend. Like for instance, WIF has been running and running and running. Like it's not bearish, you can stay in it. And well, yeah, whatever. It's a difficult question, but people understand more or less.
Yeah. Like maybe a quick talk about modular layer ones. Like the episode I recently sent you from Empire, where I don't know who it was, I forgot the name. Where I basically talked about how to value layer ones, and he talked about the fragmented layer one and layer like modular landscape on Ethereum right now. And like out of a fundamental perspective, like I thought about this quite a lot. And for me, modular blockchains make no sense right now because it's too hard to really develop a working product if you have 50 teams working on different solutions for the same problem. It's much better, especially in this phase of development, that people or teams focus on one thing and work together rather than everyone tries to develop a solution and be competitive about it. Like later on this makes sense, but for the like base, for the foundation, and out of my opinion, like out of my view, it makes no sense at all. And especially if everything's open source. Like maybe you can say something.
No, that's nice. That's the reason I love podcasts and like listening to the best minds in this space is exactly for that, because you learn so much and they actually spend a lot of time researching that. You know, the guys from Multicoin Capital, like Kyle, Manny, they had some talks and some interviews about modular versus integrated. And famously, they're bullish on Solana. They believe this is the winner. And I agree more and more, because in the end, if you have a scalable blockchain, why do you need 50? And also then you have problems with bridging. And imagine what, like you're going to have a project and you have Celestia for the data, and then you have a layer 3, and then you have Oracle and shit. I mean, you end up with a system that's super complicated with a lot of potential failures. You just need something clean that works, that scale. I still think we see a multi-chain future because, of course, you're going to have many opportunities. And then, of course, it all depends on apps in the end. Because if you have a super hot app like Friendtech was on Base, then people are going to come. They don't really give a fuck, especially in the future. where everything should be abstracted away, we can imagine a future where people don't even know they're using that or that blockchain. Even other thing, like, have you seen the Stripe news?
Yes, I saw it. It's
Super
crazy.
cool.
Which chain do they use? Like, do they use Solana? Sorry?
Solana.
Yeah. I think also like SAP, like I looked it up, I think it was also Solana. Like they're also like for international transfers between companies, I think they're also using Solana if I'm not mistaken.
Which is pretty cool because Solana is not fully ready, but they've been kind of battle tested. And so, yeah, and of course, things can change. We'll see Monad. I'm super excited about Monad. Not really on the trading side because I think it's going to be super expensive. This is probably going to launch too late in the cycle.
Yeah.
But I want to see, is it actually going to be a solid chain? I think it has enough fuel with like the community and people love it and all that. But that could be another like Solana where it stays for years and it becomes actually useful.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, like what I thought about, like when the valuation of the underlying layer one is too high, out of my perspective, to really invest in it. What I would rather like look at are native plays on inside of these ecosystems. So like the most famous DEX or something like that, stuff that you actually use when you are on, in this case, Monad.
Well, it's Rome was the perfect example, like on base, the DEX. That one cooked so hard.
And you remember when I sent it into the group, like it was at 2 cents or something like that.
Oh,
it was crazy. Yeah, but the problem I had back in the days with that thesis or with that play was that the fundamentals were so weak that I thought another DEX will come up with better fundamentals in a short period of time. But what I haven't looked at was because it was basically just a fork. Like, and the team, like, I think it was anonymous, so you don't really know.
Well, a little anecdote. I know some of the team members, so that's a big L for me because I was in a DAO with, maybe half of the team, maybe more actually.
Crazy.
Because, but it was a fork, and those guys are like super, super serious, like, honest. They've been grinding, improving the product. And so, yeah, it's true. It was a good play. It's just, to me, it's really like super degen. I mean, not degen, but like a small, it's on base, and then you have a beta of beta and whatever. So, no, it's true. Like, why not? Because in the end, life cycle, if you remember, the play was really that. I didn't get involved a lot, but you would have a AVAX season. So then, like Trader Joe and this and that, everything would pump a lot. And then you get on Phantom, you pump all the tokens as Phantom. Now we didn't really see that level of rotation and like one chain getting hot, the other. We saw like a big Solana season and then some like alts, some memes and all that. But it's true, yeah, it makes sense. It's logical, like people are gonna buy that. There is also something interesting, I think, like, well, it's how to say that? Yeah, it's a bridge between the two. Like, you can buy the meme of that chain, so of course you can watch the memes on Monad. Some teams are already like talking about that, like preparing to launch the first memes on Monad when it's available. So yeah, of course, that's going to be insane, man. Completely insane. Like, imagine the FOMO and the charts and all that.
Yeah, man. Like, also a project where I think did you look into Chain yet, or did you say fuck that?
I know enough about it.
Yeah. So for me, it's also like they have this meme potential already, then they have huge funding. Also, it's crazy.
And we're so cucked as retail participants. I mean, to be fair, personally, and you too a little bit, like we're starting to get on the private side because we want to have access to those deals. But look, Chain is gonna launch at like 2-3 billion, maybe more. Like, what can we do as plebs? Maybe they give airdrops to like the OGs, but yeah, it's shit, like the way it looks now, where we cannot really make money unless you're a trader or like you catch a nice one like Ondo, which wasn't too expensive and hot narrative. It's getting super difficult now to make money on those new launches. So yeah, maybe the ecosystem is the answer, as you said now. Like the
Yes,
DEX of that chain, and Vera
exactly.
chain as a cult, and it's looking super strong. The problem is we cannot make money on the token, most likely.
I agree on that one, because like the valuations are like the one private option or possibility we had like a couple of days or a couple of weeks ago, bit later, like the
Yeah.
raise, like it was so high for us as private participants. So
Also,
it's
teams get greedy now. You know, it's
yeah,
famous. Like late cycle, you're going to invest in something at $1 billion FTV or like maybe 500, and then it disappears. I did that last cycle, investing in a small DeFi project at like a pretty good valuation. I mean, good in terms it was high. And
yeah,
in the end, bear market starts 6 months later, you are vesting, ciao, like it's never coming back. So you have to be careful. Like a lot of people are going to get caught. Personally, I don't think I'll ever invest. I mean, maybe a little bit in private still, but it has to be a good deal because you're guaranteed to lose money more or less if you invest in something now, I think, depending on the price. But it's
yeah,
getting really frothy and too expensive.
yeah. I think so too. Like, or like like private, like you have basically have two options right now: either a project with a vesting schedule that's good for the private investors and bad for retail, or you have a vesting schedule that's good for retail investors but bad for private investors. So basically, private deals are a little bit dead because, as you already stated, like projects with a high FTV and a short vesting schedule, like they are getting hated on. Like it's crazy. Like I was involved in Nuclei, so I know how the vesting schedule looks and stuff like this. I think the vesting schedule is like till September or something like that, or some people even have longer vesting schedules. I'm not 100% sure on that
Yeah.
topic. But when you look into the community, like so many people are hating on the tokenomics, and it's crazy, man. But I totally understand it. Like, so right now, I think the only thing that's really interesting is if a project does some kind of a fair launch or like retail, like
Mhm.
yeah, or has giga long vesting schedules, and then also like the only way to really make money is if you act out of my perspective, is that you act as a retail investor right now and just a better informed one. Then this is
Tricky, really
yeah.
tricky. I've tried thinking about the solutions, but it's super difficult. There is someone that's worth checking out. He's been popular recently on Twitter. His name is Regan Bozeman. Regan. I mean,
Send the name into the chat, then I can open it.
okay, yeah. Okay, one second. I need to send it. And yeah, I think he's a VC, and he's been talking a lot about the meta of IFDV, and he's been sharing some ideas about how to fix that. A
Yeah,
lot of people share that view of we need to bring back public sales,
yeah.
especially since like teams, they fear this SEC, but like unless you just have to exclude US people, I think you're fine.
But then if the next problem you have is that how do you exclude US citizens? Like, of course, you can block IP addresses from the US, but
Well, I don't know what's
simple.
the situation there because I think if the user is on a VPN, that's their fault. Like the project cannot do much about that. Or the KYC, the
It
KYC.
dep- exactly, yeah. You need to KYC. Like I think, and you have to be super like precise with it. Otherwise, like you get fucked. Like in the US, the SEC is cracking down on non KYC exchanges right now. Right? Do you heard of that?
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And actually, another thought, yeah, I mean, again, it's super basic. Projects should really think hard about launching at a fair price because either you launch at a high price and it's going to be down only, no one cares, everybody hates you, Or you launch at a fair price, you don't pump it up too much in private on listing, and then it goes up, and that's the best marketing. So I talked about that with a team recently, just because, well, you have to be careful. Really, like it's so worth it in the long run. Let people make money, and they're going to be your biggest fans. They're going to talk about you all the time, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, but there's a problem to that. Like, if you play with that too much and you launch at and the price is too low, and price comes a lot, then people with big positions who bought early on, like they are gonna sell, and then the price goes like much
True.
more down. So
There is a balance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need
Because
to find a
of
balance.
course it's stupid. Like imagine you raise a round, and then it launches on public, and VCs are up 50x. And so, of course, they want to unload that as soon as possible. And retail cannot, you need to let us eat a little bit. Like give us a few multiples, like we can make a 3-4x, everybody's celebrating. Anyways, it's been a long period we spent on that.
Yeah, okay. We can.
But super interesting, of course, tokenomics and how to improve that. But of course, we have no control, and we can just avoid the bad setups, which is actually some topic I wanted to talk about next. So
perfect transition.
Wow, yeah, it's too smooth transitions. Maybe 2 months of break was helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Was needed.
I mean, I'm trying not to talk too much, but usually like people don't complain, so let's try. Now there is a quote. I'm paraphrasing there from Donald, so the duck, the famous crypto trader, which is a legend. And he said it like 2 years ago, I think, and it's been stuck with me. It's kind of funny. And he basically said, you want to approach the market from a position of strength. And what that means is you want to avoid taking bad setups. So, well, yeah, of course, it's not that easy to explain that concept, but what he was saying basically is like, for example, if we can take the Bitcoin situation we had there. If you bought Bitcoin recently, like before the nuke or in the middle of nowhere, like basically that's something I avoid personally. Like if you have a high time frame, like support resistance, you want to do business around those levels. I used to do that when I was a newbie. I would buy in the middle of nowhere, and then I'm in a position of weakness because it can go down directly. It's messy. So yeah, position of strength is just filtering your opportunities. So that way, when you do business, you actually have a better chance to make money. And so I try to break it down. So yeah, the first step would be like filtering, which I do a lot. I'm known for being like a high conviction bets only guy, just because first I can size it up. And second, just mentally, I mean, you have a lot of aspects to that. But yeah, sorry if it's a bit confusing. But yeah, so first filtering. So you have to be careful when do you buy something and what do you buy, so that you give yourself the best chances to make money. Also, well, it's about patience, something I've been really good at recently. If the market doesn't give me a setup, I wait, that's it. I can be super patient, and when there is finally a nuke or a new project is there, then I can get involved. What else to say about that? So yeah, high conviction bets, that was pretty much that. Something that's also super interesting to me is like mentally, because let's say you take bad setups, you lose once, you lose twice, you're not going to feel great about yourself. And the next trade you take, you're not going to come from a position of strength, as you said, because you just lost some money. You're going to be a bit like scared. You might sell too early. So then it comes down to you taking bad setups. So personally, that's what I love about the way I trade. I think my win rate on the high conviction bet is like 80%, maybe more. Like I rarely lose, to be completely honest. So that's super good for me, because I know that when I want to get involved in something, chances are that I'm going to make money. I make the money, more confidence, and it goes that's a virtuous loop, or like a positive reflexive loop, and you can get the opposite of people revenge trading and all that. So I covered the filtering, only the best setups. You have the mental bonus of being only in the best setups. Something I also like to avoid being in the position of weakness is I deploy slowly, because I used to do that. Let's say there is a dip on Bitcoin and I buy 100% of my stables now. If it goes down a bit more, then I'm under pressure and I'm not going to be in the best position. So now, especially with my size, I have a few levels on Bitcoin. For example, I was expecting maybe Bitcoin to go a bit lower. And I said to myself, okay, I buy a bit here, a bit there. And then I see the market was strong. So I was like, okay, I can forget about the 54K buy. I buy now. And if it goes down, I'm okay with that. So that's also very good, because now you don't care as much about the volatility. You can handle a bit more downside. And it gives you also like time, no rush, like chill. I love doing that. And well, I mean, there is also something to say about like profit taking. It's also the same thing. As I said, I was 30% stables before the nuke, so that was amazing for me. Sometimes you sell too early. I did that, but at least you have money, and the nuke is easier to digest because I have stable. It's an opportunity, not something I'm going to cry about. I'm pretty happy actually to make some buys. So really, like, I hope it was clear enough. But it's really key to be careful, take the best setups, and then you can build more and more and more strength, confidence, and you're like always in the best setups. Just maybe one last thing. I think about my early days in trading, and I would literally like buy on the 5-minute chart. I would like I buy here. And then it's like a coin flip. It's going to go up or down. I'm looking at the low time frame. So basically I'm gambling. There is no way I can make money there. And now these days I'm on the daily. I'm very specific about where I buy. And then my win rate is much, much better, and etc. Like, I've been repeating myself a few times. You get the idea. So that quote stuck with me so much, because it just makes sense. Like, that's the best style to me, being very selective.
I thought about, like, I just talked with my girlfriend about you, and like it was like 2 or 3 days ago, and I said to her like that one of your biggest strengths lays in moving slowly. And because I try to compare this way how you act and try to basically copy that on my current business approach to business, and everyone, like, of course you need speed in certain things. Like when you're just starting out with crypto right now, you need speed in terms of, okay, the fundamentals, you need to understand the fundamentals as fast as possible. But then when it comes to position building, like, you have to know when you have to move fast and when you have to move slow. And one question about your process. When you say filtering, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, well, that goes into another topic, which is expected value. I mean, now sometimes I calculate it. Actually, you can find it. Like, it's just because in the end, expected value is you take the max profit you can make, the max loss you can make, and the probability of each. And so that way you look at, is it worth it to take that setup or not? Most of the time I do it intuitively. I have a rough idea. But that's really this, because like in terms of like narrative levels, it's just about, I don't want, if I don't have conviction on a play for whatever reason, I'm not taking it. That's just that filtering. It's just getting involved when I feel like it's a good play. And why do I think it's a good play? Well, as I said, like narrative, I like the price, or if it's a trade, a technical trade, I like the state of the market. So yeah, it's just then it's more like experience my process. But as I said, like even you have that. You can sometimes you see something and you're like, this is actually interesting, and you see plays every day, like a ton of plays. Because also another trap for people, I used to feel like that, is I have to make money every day. Like, there is coin this. That's stupid because you're just gonna be distracted. You're gonna take back setups. You lose a bit there, You fuck up many times. Now these days, I take less and less trades. That's also a size thing. I'm aware, but it's you move so much better. You don't have to be in 15 tokens and be hyperactive. You can catch one play with size. You make a 5x in 2 months. You're Gucci.
That's actually the beautiful thing about high conviction plays. Like, there you are less stressed about the market, even if you are less diversified, which is like to some people like strange because they think, okay, diversification brings security and stuff like this, which is, in my opinion, totally dumb. But like, if your diversification looks like this, like you hold crypto and you hold other assets outside of crypto, then maybe it makes sense. But in crypto, I think you should bet on the winning horses, and that's it. Like high conviction plays only. What did I want to say? Like, yeah, it makes your approach to crypto much more relaxed and gives you a clear view on what you should do under different circumstances. Like, if you have a high conviction play, for example, and the market dumps, but you know where the project will move, like, you know, you're better informed like than 95% of the other investors, then you know, okay, in 2 months, like there will be catalyst XYZ. Then we also will see updates on the project, and the team is strong, everything is strong, the fundamentals basically look good, and everything about the project looks good. So you have a high conviction in it. And then the market goes down, like you are not stressed about your investments anymore. And this is like the beauty of investing against trading, out of my opinion. Like, because in trading you not constantly, but you check prices regularly. Investing, you only check, like, depending on your approach, but in investing, I personally think, that's at least my my opinion, you monitor stuff like team, community, progress, technological progress, and then maybe some specific things depending on the project you invested in. So this is everything. And then you sit there, wait, and do fucking nothing. So
that's beautiful. Because when you have an investment, you think just about the cycle, when it's going to top. So it's going to be the top for your project too. And then you have the specific timeline. Like, for example, like a game is launching in 6 months. So, you want to wait those. Anyway, but no, it's super, super true. Also, you make more money if you're an investor, honestly. Because trading, it's very difficult to get in and out of a token and really make it easy for yourself. Sometimes, you have a short-term pump, a 3x, and you have to get out before it's gone. But investors make more money. Like, you actually have data on that. Yeah. If you can buy Solana at $1 and keep it, that's the way to make the real money.
I mean, like, it's also like your approach. Like, you do trading and you're investing. Like, I think trading fuels your investing portfolio a bit. I don't know how it actually is structured on your side. Like, how much of your portfolio do you use for trades and how much for
that's a good question. Like, Hansen was talking about that, and I got inspired from it. Well, at the moment it's evolving because as we get into the late cycle, I want more trading capital. I'm laying down, like, lay back on the investment side, but at the moment, it got pretty high. But like 80% spot investments, 20% rotation trading is a fair share to me, or like fair division. But these days it's much more for me now, because I said, like, WIF is a trade that's 30%, and I have another trade, so I'm like 40-50% trading now. but also those can turn into investments. That's funny because like everybody is pretty impressed by my Ondo trade, and in the end, at first that was supposed to be a trade, and then I was like, well, there is potential, let's keep it, and in the end, that was the best play. So yeah, you also have that luxury. Sometimes you need to adjust your timeline. Maybe this project is gonna just disappear, so I don't want to keep it, or the opposite. So
understanding potential, basically. When you see potential, stay in it. If it's a short term, like I think it's so interesting. Like how much we learned over the past couple of years about crypto, and not just crypto, but also investing. And because like back in the days, like I saw trading and investing as two separate things, and nowadays, like of course, it depends on what you talk about when you talk about trading. But out of my perspective, like when I look at short-term plays that I do. By the way, I like your original structure. Your portfolio is say 80% and spot, 20% trading. Of course, now that changed, but also the market has changed. So I would argue that this is fine for the current state of the market. So when I look at short-term trades, I actually don't look at the only thing I look at is market cap. I don't look at FTV. Maybe this will change now, depending on the how FTV turns out to be. Like if it's relevant to the community, then of course I will look at FTV, but not because of the FTV, not because of the new tokens which will enter the market in 1 year, but because of the effect this number has on the community. I look at short-term trades. I look at fundamentals and narrative. That's basically the only at catalysts. Basically, that's the only thing I do as it's kind of a fundamental analysis approach combined with like a very short time frame for that investment.
That's super interesting. Yeah, because I thought about that too, because usually when people say trading, it's just technical. Like a lot of traders, they don't even know what the coin does. They just see a good chart, they're like, I buy, that's it. Then you can also do some fundamental short-term trading because you know there is a launch or there is a reason for it to go up. That's very, very true. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. So yeah, and I said it in an interview like recently. To me, I don't see the difference really between trading and investing. The two are like kind of like linked. You can have, and I even said, I mean, an investment is a long-term trade. So I mean, I don't see really a lot of difference. It's just people, in their mindset, an investment, you don't touch it, you don't look at it for a year, and a trade, you're watching it and you're really trading technically. But whatever, you can do your thing, and it's a mix of both.
Yeah, it also depends on the asset you are looking at, because if you look at crypto, you can't have the same time frame as you with crypto investments, and then you have it with maybe stock investments. I know people who hold stocks for over 25 years now, and bought them in the 90s. So I told that time frame that you can have in stocks, because you actually invest in companies that are generating real world value, value that for example, if you buy stocks of a beer company which is really big, people drink the beer, you can actually see the value that is getting generated. But what the crypto market is, out of my perspective, is the early days of the internet, and not the early days of the internet in terms of the 2000 rush, but in terms of the infrastructure building side of the internet, the early days where the infrastructure is just being built out and you don't even know what infrastructure will be there in 10 years. So especially if you know the infrastructure is not set yet. So the most secure area of crypto where you can invest in, which is infrastructure, out of my perspective, is not even finished yet or not even completed yet. And when you know if you start to add projects on the application layer now to your portfolio, you have an even higher risk to your overall portfolio. So for me, it's Like you can't have a long-term time frame right now in crypto. It's not possible. It's definitely like the market gives
Well,
you.
you just have to
Maybe.
play the cycles.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's really the key, even
Yeah.
though now it might be more messy because we got used to 4 years. Who knows? I don't think it's going to go on forever, of course.
No.
But again, that's like speculation. Who knows? But
Yes.
no, it's true. Crypto is very different, like much quicker and much crazier. But it's the same logic. In the end, it's always humans trading and investing, so you can leverage the same kind of behaviors, emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the crypto is a bit special with the way it works, and also like I mean, you have some that makes sense. Like Maker is, you have the revenue and you can apply kind of like a TradFi view to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. It's true that these days a lot of hype and narratives, and who cares about the long-term value and sustainability of a certain token?
Yes, exactly. Like at some point, this will switch. I'm pretty sure of that. Like as you said, like at some point in the future, you can start to make long-term investments. Maybe you can also do it right now, but only with the infrastructure layer. Like I don't think that applications right now are a good place to like.
But nothing is
have
major for real. And maybe you can say like uni. I mean, wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, what will be the value accrue for the uni besides being a DAO token when we don't have like this huge attention thing anymore? Like at some point, people will realize, okay, I hold uni as a DAO token, and the only buying pressure comes from people who are interested in being part of the DAO uni.
I mean, now there's the fee switch. I don't know what's going on with that, but
I don't think that they will make it. Like, why should they?
They have to fight their case with the SEC now and all that.
Yeah.
That's just an example. But no, honestly, yeah, I agree. I don't think there is an app that's actually strong enough to be an investment in crypto right now. No.
Yeah, like the adoption is not high enough. So you can't even, like, some areas, of course, they will exist in the future, like decentralized exchanges, of course, because crypto is a casino. Like people will bet on meme coins till the end of their days. So I think decentralized exchanges, it's fair to say that they will stay as an application, but which one will stay till for the next 10 years, like we don't know yet. I mean, Uniswap has a ton of revenue. Like they're generating so much money, so they have a very high advantage above every other player in the market. But let's say BlackRock starts to get into crypto, and maybe also Fidelity and stuff like this, and they build their own decentralized exchange. Like maybe at some point, because they bring users, like just like imagine everything it's going to happen in the future, but maybe they bring people on chain. Maybe Coinbase will generate a decentralized exchange in the future, and they bring users onto that decentralized exchange. Like liquidity moves to the place where you can generate the most revenue with it. So if Uniswap isn't the place anymore, then it gets irrelevant as a token as well. So maybe it stays. Don't get me wrong. Like maybe Uniswap will, like they have a big advantage above every other decentralized exchange in the market right now. So, but maybe there's a bigger fish who comes into the pool and eats Uniswap. Like it could happen. Like we are not there yet where we can make certain decisions for the next 10 years, especially on the application area.
So it doesn't work like it's not like you're buying I don't know, Nvidia, and no, it's not the same.
Exactly, yeah.
Even Nvidia, I don't know, I'm not a TradFi guy, but I think it's already so expensive.
But their role is very important. Like I get it that people like Nvidia as an investment. Okay, but let's switch.
I like a lot of theory and
yes, exactly.
Building, pretty cool.
Okay, should we give some actionable advices on what people should do over the coming months now? What coins should we chill? We already did.
Wow.
Like, people know.
I mean, yeah, simple for me, AI and memes.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
Then
would,
of course, some more
yeah,
stuff,
I
roughly.
would, yeah, I would maybe add the Ton ecosystem as an interesting place to be. Which coins will be interesting on Ton, I don't know yet, but it's good to keep an eye on it. And base, well,
Yeah, based too. I didn't say that, but it's true. I was thinking like more. Well, no, it's a sector. Yeah.
yes, exactly, yeah.
So no, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, base has a lot of catalysts, like with the wallet, and
Yeah.
they're gonna push people, like push some users, I think, over to base at some point,
Yeah.
and maybe a token. That would be so sweet.
I don't
Later,
think that would
later,
be
but
okay.
they could create such a flywheel with a token. It would be insane. I'm sure they're scared of getting in trouble with
But yeah,
regulation. But I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I don't
but
know. I don't
actually,
think they want to risk it. Of course, yeah.
but yeah, man, I looked into it. Like, I looked into the way how they are structuring base, and there are so many. Like, should we get into it? Because I would talk a bit more right now.
Honestly,
It's interesting.
I think
Yeah,
you prepared something on base, right?
yeah, I did like a presentation in the program on it, and I dove really deep into it. So there are a lot of things that they did really smart. Like, I don't know if you remember the list that the SEC put out like a couple of months ago, where they said these coins are all securities. And one of the cases, if I remember correctly, was FX like Frax, if I'm not mistaken. And the reasoning behind it was that there is only one development team. And you basically, if you buy the token, you bet on that one development team, which is basically the foundation behind it. So what Base is doing, they are using the OP stake. So you have two core teams building the technology. So you are not betting on a centralized party if you buy a base token. So this was one, like the first thing that where I thought, okay, they are doing, like they are preparing it
Interesting.
really smart. Like then because they basically have like two core teams, the sequencer, you could argue that the sequencer is also not really centralized. Of course, it's not decentralized, but you are not betting on base. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there are more core teams to come for the OP stack. So this is another thing which could be interesting, or where I would say, okay, maybe you could argue that it's not a security if they bring out a token. Then what else was like the only problem they could have is if they create a token and do an airdrop and hold tokens, base tokens in their treasury, it would be a fundraising.
Also, there's
And
a relationship with Coinbase. That's a publicly traded company. So that's the weird part. Like, I'm sure it's separated as structures.
exactly,
It's
yeah,
an external company, but
yeah,
do have a link. Like, so I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a lawyer, but I mean,
yeah,
I think they could go for it, but I believe they're gonna be really careful before
yeah.
making it crazy.
I think they are playing like 5D chess. Like it's crazy, like how they prepare everything. Like the deeper I go or look into base, the more interesting it gets to me. Like also like how they set up like the companies and stuff like this. This makes so much sense, and it's planned so well that I think that maybe in the future, maybe not this bull market, maybe the next one, we will see a base token. And maybe they're also waiting for more regulation for like the fundraising stuff, so they can, maybe they will create a token and it's gonna be a security, but then they have like the security of creating a security or a coin which is a security or a token which is a security inside of a regulatory framework. So I think maybe when this end is clear, they will launch a token. And what's also like interesting about Base is that the infrastructure, or that Base basically could generate an infrastructure for Coinbase, because I think Coinbase at some point will be a bank. Like, this is like the main thought I had after I dove deep into Base. And Base will basically become the infrastructure for it. And there are many reasons to it, but basically, to make it very, very simple, I think that decentralized applications are more efficient at some point than the centralized counterparties. For many reasons. One of them is that the costs will basically be zero to use them. So you have no labor costs and so on. That's not just me saying it. Like, the World Economic Forum also put out a report on that, even if I don't like them, but like, they also see that potential. So I think that we will see Base as a very interesting place to be for a lot of different areas. Like, of course, decentralized applications, I think Base will be huge for this part as well, because I think Coinbase will be a bank. Then you have the unregulated casino, which makes like Base a revenue monster for Coinbase in the future. Coinbase currently has, I think, 73 million active users, like the exchange. On Base, I think, like last time I checked, it was 400,000 daily active addresses. So I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah.
That's
So
maybe, I don't know, divided by 5 at least. Yeah, at least.
yeah, maybe like, even then, like, if you divide it by 5, like, you will end up with a pretty high number.
That's nothing. That's nothing. They could push millions of people on chain. I mean, if the chain is ready, it's not yet. But it's super interesting. Of course, it's super high level strategy. I don't even remember exactly, but yes, they can use in the end, because they want to have, I don't know what's their plans for like Coinbase. How do they fit together? But I guess having their blockchain, they can build stuff decentralized way, and they can remain also centralized for like normal people. And so they have like, they can play it on both sides, and it's going to be interesting. But yeah, honestly, yeah,
it's a nice place to be. To make it very short, like, I think, yeah, I won't share everything I worked on, but basically, if you want to position yourself in Base right now, I would look at it at a very simple way, like, understand who's going to use Base, position yourself accordingly. That's it.
Well, you have just memes, honestly. You don't have anything else to buy.
Yeah, there are other things, because should I share the alpha? Like, how long is the recording already going? Maybe I will save it for next time. Guys have to subscribe to get it. We should put some call to actions into the video at some point.
With like amateurs, like getting started in podcasting, we're not.
Yes, exactly.
Used to it.
I think this episode is already let us know what you think about the podcast in the comments.
Yeah, we've had a lot of positive feedback. People find it valuable, and we'll also improve. Be clearer, maybe better material, like equipment and everything. We're still learning.
Yeah. All right. Do we have something else what we want to talk about before we come to an end? Like, we already talked I think 2 hours now, right?
Maybe a bit less, but yes, more or less. So it was very nice to catch up.
Yeah. I always love to look into your brain.
Well, no, it's funny, man. It's funny. Also, we always have great discussion, so it's helpful for everybody involved. Well, I'm not as useful now. I'm very, kind of like passive at the moment. Also, I've told you, actually, I can talk about it. I'm in the process of buying a house. I want to cash out some money because I'm too stressed out about being 100% in crypto. I think it's not the worst time to take some profits. Of course, we still have some upside, but I'm okay. That way I'm secure. Also, I use the chop. I mean, now it's bouncing, but it was a nice time to work on that. And yeah, also for the peace of mind, it's going to be great to know that I'm secure, I have a house, whatever happens, I'm not going to go to zero again. I mean, again, like ever. So all this to say that, well, take profits, guys, on the way up. And I don't really have a lot of stuff watching on my watch list. Just gonna look. I think we range a bit more, and yeah, play the game, see what's hot. Some AI. I'm watching a few AI projects, but no idea if it's gonna be actually playable. We always have that FDP problem. And people have been hating on it very hard, so it's even worse. But yeah, to be fair, I'm getting a bit like checked out compared to a lot of people. I'm already looking ahead. The cycle is coming to an end. I mean, I might be wrong, but a couple months to me. So yeah, no, sorry guys, I don't have a lot to talk about, but just yeah, maybe the alpha I provide is just have an exit plan. Don't retrace all your bull gains, because it was actually how to say that, like yeah, like an exercise practice. This dump was practice to see that things can go down and it can be fast and painful. So next time you're like super euphoric, up a ton of money, like take some off, and always prepare while the transition to a bear. Who knows what's gonna happen when, etc. But taking profits never hurts. That's it, and please tell me if you have also something more interesting, maybe.
I like there's the saying of Naval, or basically what Naval says is train the fundamentals, and if you are very good at the fundamentals, everything else will come into play. And taking profits is so, like, everybody says it, but only a few do it. So
man, that's funny. Also, I listen. Sorry again. I listen to Donald and CryptoCred. They have a podcast also, like, and they talked about that, like practicing profit taking, because a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna sell the top. It's easy." Well, if you haven't sold any token in ever, it's not gonna be that easy.
Yeah.
And personally, I prefer taking profits on the way up. You can also wait for like a big pump, a big alt season. I think alt season, most people should be in alts. Or like alt season, I don't think it's going to be that crazy like 2021. But at least like everything pumps some, and some tokens going parabolic. But yeah, like again, you should take profits because you know how it feels, and you have a better idea of how to do it.
Yeah, I'm totally agree on that. Like if you never took profits before, you will never take profits in the future. If you're not starting today, like just try it, like do it. And also maybe another learning is you don't always have to make a 2x or 3x or 5x or 10x. Like even a 50% trade is fucking amazing. Like if you like, I always like, so I stay base for short-term trades. Like I always, like, this is only true for short-term bets. I only say to myself, like, if I make 50%, like even less, I think 40% or 30%, what, maybe even 20% every fucking year, I'm one of the best traders on earth. So like if you do that till the end of your life, like it's stacked, like it adds up. It's amazing.
Beauty of compounding.
Yes, exactly.
Well, of course, people are going to say, well, if you make 20% a year in crypto, you're doing something wrong.
Yes, of course.
I would agree. But to be fair, yeah, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be the best and make 100x a year. Right? That's impossible. And
yeah, it depends on which market you're
in.
Like,
super, man. We're like so lucky. I see it all the time. Like you go outside in the real world, and people are making 2K a month, and that's a pretty good salary. And I'm like, I mean, like we don't live in the same world.
It's crazy. Like also when you like, we are happy that we started so early. Let's put it like that, and also that we created our own edge for the market. That we know how certain areas move, like that we are also like that we stuck through the bear market. Of course, there were not just good times, but basically it's a payout for doing, like, again, another learning. Like if you only do what 99% of the other people are doing, like for example, leave crypto during a bear market, then your profits will also stay average, like of the 99% of the other people.
Oh, for sure.
If you act as an outlier, you will have outlying results. So stop doing what the masses are doing. Buy when it's low, sell when it's high. Basic fundamentals.
That's nice. It's a lot of principles today, and it's always helpful.
Yes, exactly. I think for beginners as well, like also for intermediates, some people need to hear it again. So
even everybody, really.
Yeah. Okay, maybe like I already said it, like I personally think Ton will be an interesting ecosystem because of the fundamental space as well. Like Ton, I think, is gonna move more than base over the next couple of months. That's my prediction. Maybe I'm wrong. So no financial advice here. But I think they have more upside left than base. If you know what Ton is or what base is,
that's a hot take, I think.
Yeah. You should get educated about it. All right, with that, like, should we end it here, or do you have something else? Meme coins.
Oh, just looking at the chart of time. Oh yeah, well, okay. Yeah, it's true. It went parabolic in the last 2 months. I mean, parabolic. It's like a cool 3-4x. Not bad.
What happens when?
But I don't know anything about it, and it's a weird one because no one is really in it. It's like a retail kind of niche. I don't know exactly who's using it. It's very different from like on crypto Twitter. No one's really talks about Ton.
Yeah, but man, like the user experience will be insane. Like right now, it's like the worst user experience you can imagine.
But it makes a lot of sense. With the Telegram groups, you have the wallet there. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. Like everything is inside of Telegram. So also decentralized exchanges, like you connect yourself with a decentralized exchange. And have you used it before?
Just once, like 5 minutes. Like I don't know much about it really.
All right. So basically, you can connect yourself with every application over your Telegram app. I don't know how the security implications are there, so maybe that's a problem. But you basically connect yourself with your Telegram account or with your wallet inside of your Telegram account, and you can do everything you can also do in the normal crypto world, just on your phone and via Telegram. And another interesting thing here is, like, of course, most of the Telegram users are mobile device users. So you, like, I think especially in the gaming space, we could see other games have much higher, like I think the profits you can make with mobile games inside the Ton ecosystem could be very interesting. I wouldn't look at complex stuff like reward assets on Ton. I think that will never be a thing. But the gaming ecosystem, especially like mobile games, could be very interesting. So stuff like Mavia, for example, would it have launched on Ton? Because you don't need like the App Store anymore, and you basically have an App Store inside of Telegram. And the user base of Telegram is actually huge. I don't know, like I think they are. It's crazy.
Underrated.
I think it's underrated. Yeah.
The only question is, because I don't know really who's using it personally. Like before crypto, I wasn't using it. I know some people use it to like buy weed. Actually, it's funny because I get some notifications sometimes like that contact joined Telegram, and I'm like, why do you join Telegram? Like to me, that's either to buy drugs or maybe you're getting a bit into crypto.
100%.
Like it's WhatsApp, it's the messaging, like the main one, at least in the Western countries. I don't know Telegram really, like what's the user base, what's the use case. But I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a nice way to communicate with people.
Okay, I will just throw them some stats, like 700 million active users per month. This was, I think that's from last year. Telegram had received 1 billion downloads, becoming the 15th app in the world to reach that milestone.
Man. Isn't it also like encrypted or like some sort of like safety,
Yes.
a bit safer? Yeah, because I think, yeah, it's not like WhatsApp where it's Facebook and you probably are kind of trouble if you're like in a bad country or something like that, or you're a journalist or I don't know.
Exactly, yeah. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the next thing, it also became the 7th most downloaded app across iOS and Android. Telegram now is the 10th most used social media platform worldwide. So I think there is some upside, man. I think there's a lot of upside.
Check the valuation of that.
Yeah.
But also that's weird, like I didn't check the tokenomics, but I'm curious to see like what happened there because
it's the tokenomics I
oh
looked
my
into
god,
it.
it's 20 million market cap, 20 billion, sorry. That's a ton. That's a ton.
Like let's just look at another things, like this is the
Majority.
majority.
You bullish on the ton coin?
Man, okay, I will give you some insights. So the next thing is 38% of the users are from Asia, 27% from Europe, 21% Latin America. So basically what I think is like base is for US citizens, ton will be for Asians, Europeans, maybe Latin America, stuff like this. Like this will be the main target group. Then another thing is the token. Like if you I don't know if you saw it recently, you can buy ads now on Telegram, which gets shown in groups. Okay, you have seen it, and you can buy them via using the ton token. Like you have to use the ton token to pay for ads. And let's just look up.
They're going full crypto.
Ad spend, yeah, they're going full crypto. I think they have a good reason for it. Ad spend on
just
what?
Logically, Telegram, which is a massive, successful app with a token, and they're pushing it, it makes sense. But what I'm just saying, like, it's already top 10, 20 billion.
I would look at the
app. Yes. It doesn't seem like a lot of upside, but it's a safe play though.
Yeah,
It goes on a Ponzi-nomic run. And I mean, it's Telegram, so it could be a top 5 project, but the upside to me doesn't look that good.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at Ton itself. Like what I would look at is the ecosystem again. Yeah. So Ton maybe as a safe play. I like right now, if I have to tell someone, okay, like you want to have safe bets, then I would choose Solana and Ton. That's it. Maybe, but Ethereum, the risk reward ratio doesn't really look too good to me. So this is what I would recommend. No financial advice. Do your own research.
Actually, and you spend some time on that because you have a real thesis, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So yeah, but okay, now you guys have some alpha. Do what you want with it. Get into fucking Ton, man. Don't be stupid. Not Ton, the token, not the ecosystem.
Yeah, the ecosystem. That's nice. That's a great way to close. This podcast. We'll try to be more consistent. It was mostly my fault.
It's my fault.
So yeah, like once a month is doable, but of course, I mean, we also have lives and very busy lives at the moment.
Yeah, we have stuff to do. So sometimes we come and we will deliver tons of value, so you can't complain. So with that being said, let's end it here. Was really nice to talk to you, Bros. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, share it with somebody on WhatsApp, so on whatever social media app, Telegram you're using, so they also get the value out of this podcast. Think about anyone who can benefit of it, share it with them, and also comment for the algorithm underneath the videos, so this gets a bit more traction and this podcast finally gets the reach it deserves. And also leave a follow so you don't miss the next one.
Also, yeah, you should post some questions. That's also interesting. Like,
Yes.
give us some questions and we can get the best ones and answer them next time.
This is a good idea. Like, how many should we do? Like 2 questions.
Yeah, we'll
Top,
see. We'll see.
maybe more.
I mean, we're not going to get a ton yet, but we'll see.
Like, just drop them inside under the video and see you on the next podcast.
You gents,
Bye-bye.
pleasure. See you soon.